Hello students. So today we will start a second topic of our chapter Nationalism in India. The topic named Differing Strands Within the Movement. Now, the non-cooperation Khilafat movement began in January 1921. Various social groups participated in this movement, each with its own specific aspiration. All of them responded to the call of Swaraj, but the term meant different things to different people. Now, what happened with this movements were people were thinking different meaning of Swaraj at their different situation, different things. Okay, so now what happened in the towns? The movement, how movement took place in the towns. The movement started with middle class participation in the cities. Thousands of students left government controlled schools and colleges. Lawyers gave up their legal practices. Headmasters and teachers resigned, and council elections were boycotted in most of the provinces except Madras. Why Madras? Because where there was a Justice Party, the party of the non-Brahmins, where they felt that the entering the council was one way of gaining some power, something that usually only Brahmins had access to. Therefore, at Madras there was no boycott of council elections. Okay, so now let's go to the effects of this movement. What was their economic effects? So for economic effects, foreign goods were boycotted, liquor shops picked, and foreign clothes burnt in huge bonfires. Import halved between 1921 and 1922, its value dropping from rupees 102 crore to 57 crore. In many places, merchants and traders refused to trade in foreign goods or finance the foreign trade. As the boycott movement spread and people began discarding imported clothes and wearing only Indian ones, production of Indian textile mills, handlooms went up. Okay, so these were the economic effects where because of such economic effects, Indian textile production went up for a longer period. Now, let's move why the movement slowed down. Okay, there was a slowdown of movement. Okay, why this happened is because khadi clothes were more expensive than the normal British clothes. Okay, so khadi clothes were often more expensive than mass produced meal cloth, and poor people could not afford to buy it. Now, similarly, students and teachers began to join back to the government schools. For the movement to be successful, alternative Indian institutions had to be set up so that they could be used in the place of British ones. These were slow to come up. So students and teachers began to go back to the government schools and lawyers joined back work in the government courts. Now, let's go to the second topic, that is rebellion in the countryside. Now, their struggles were done by peasants and tribals. From the cities, the non-cooperation movement spread to the countryside. It drew into its fold that the struggles of peasants and tribals which were developing in different parts of India in the years after the war. Now, what happened to the peasants and tribals? How they participated in the movement? In Awadh, that is UP, peasants were led by Baba Ramchandra, who was a sannyasi, who earlier been to Fiji as an indentured laborer. What do you mean by indentured laborer? It means that a labor with force, okay, which was forcefully kept there as a labor and was not getting any paid money from the work. Okay, now what happened there is the movement was against the talukadas and landlords who demanded higher rents, other cesses, bekar, that is work without payment. Okay, so high rents for the land and other cesses, there are some different cesses, different duties, different taxes. Okay, and the begar means what? A labor that villagers were forced to contribute without any payment. They were not getting any payment. Okay, now as a tenant they had no security of tenure, being regularly evicted so that they could acquire no right over the lease land. Okay, now they were not getting any right over that lease land, they were not having any security of tenure. They demanded reduction of revenue, abolition of bekar, and boycott of landlords. In many places, Nai Dhobi Bandh was organized by panchayats. What do you mean by Nai Dhobi Bandh? is no services by barbers and washermen, nai and dhobi, that is barbers and washermen. Okay, so in June 1920, Jawaharlal Nehru began to going around the villages in Awadh, talking about the villagers and trying to understand their grievances, their demands. By October, the Awadh Kisan Sabha was headed by Jawaharlal Nehru and Baba Ramchandra. Okay, so within a month, over 300 branches had been set up in the villages around the region. So when the non-cooperation movement began the following year, the effort of the Congress was to integrate the Awadh peasant struggle into the wider struggle. The peasant movement, however, developed in forms that the Congress leadership was unhappy. Peasants movement spread, Congress leadership were unhappy. Now, as the movement spread, the houses of talukadas and the merchants were attacked, bazaars were looted, grain hoards were taken over. Okay, so in many places, local leaders told peasants that Gandhiji had declared that no taxes were to be paid. Okay, and no taxes were have to be paid, and redistribution of land among the poor. Okay, so there were the only rumors, that Gandhiji declared that you should not pay any taxes and you are getting your land. Okay, there is a redistribution of land among the poor. Okay, so the name of the Gandhiji being invoked to sanction all the actions and aspirations. Okay, so now let's come how the movement took place at some small villages and hilly areas of Andhra Pradesh, that is Giram Hills. Okay, so there was a movement named as guerrilla movement. Okay, so the movement is not related to a guerrilla, that is a guerrilla. Okay, so the movement is why it is known as a guerrilla movement. This is because the movement was done not by any leader, not by any official person. The movement is done by a common peasants or a tribals. Okay, so the Giram Hills at Andhra Pradesh, the tribals there were led by Alluri Sitaram Raju, who was against the Begar for road building. Now, what happened to the Giram Hills are the forest areas were closed, restricted to graze their cattle, and restricted to collect fuel wood and fruits. This angered the hill people. Not only were their livelihoods affected, but they felt that their traditional rights were being denied. So when the government began forcing them to contribute Begar for road building, the hill people revolted. Okay, so the person who came to lead them was an interesting figure named as Alluri Sitaram Raju, who claimed that he had a quality of special powers. Okay, he was a greatness, he was a very best worship, he does the worship of Gandhiji, persuaded to wear khadi and give up drinking. He persuaded to wear khadi and persuaded to give up drinking. Okay, so the revolts proclaimed that he was an incarnation of God, who Alluri Sitaram Raju. And the Raju claimed he has a special powers. He has a power to correct astrological predictions. He heals the people and survive bullet shots. Raju talked of the greatness of Mahatma Gandhi, as he said he was inspired by non-cooperation movement and persuaded to wear khadi and give up drinking. But at the same time, he asserted that India could be liberated only by the use of force, not by the non-violence. The Giram rebels attacked police stations to kill British officials, attempted to kill British officials, and carried on guerrilla warfare for achieving Swaraj. Raju was captured and executed in 1924. He was considered as a folk hero. Okay, so this was a story of Giram Hills at Andhra Pradesh, named as a guerrilla movement. Now, what happened to the Swaraj in plantations? The plantations at Assam tea plantations. Okay, so what do you mean by plantation? The large area for crop production. For plantation workers in Assam, the freedom means right to move freely in and out of plantation area. Now, there was an act, that is Inland Immigration Act 1859. What it means is the plantation workers were not permitted to leave the tea gardens without permission, and in fact they were rarely given such a permission. When they heard about the non-cooperation movement, thousands left the plantation and headed home. They believed that Gandhi Raj was coming and everyone would be given land in their own villages. Okay, so they believed this. They also got such a movement rumors. Okay, and now they believed that Gandhi Raj was coming and everyone would be given the land in their own villages. However, they never reached their destination. Stranded on the way by a railway, they were caught by police and brutally beaten up. February 1929 22. Okay, so February 1922 at Gorakhpur Chauri Chaura Bazaar, there was a peaceful demonstration which turns into a violent clash. With this incident, Mahatma Gandhi called a halt to the non-cooperation movement. Okay, the visions of these movements were not defined by the Congress program. They interpreted the term Swaraj in their own ways. As we discussed at the starting, the meaning of a Swaraj is different for different people. Okay, so they interpret the term Swaraj in their own ways, imagining to it to be a time when all suffering and all troubles would be over. Yet when the tribals chanted Gandhiji's name and raised slogans demanding Swatantra Bharat, they were also emotionally relating to an all India agitation. Okay, so they were identifying with a movement which went beyond the limits of their immediate locality. Okay, so this was the movement of movements in the towns, rebellion countryside at different places, that is Awadh in UP, Andhra Pradesh, Gudam Hills, and Swaraj in plantation, that is in Assam. Okay, so now the questions for the homework is: how non-cooperation movement was seen in towns? What were the economic effects of movement? What were the reasons for the slowdown of movement? Write a note on Baba Ramchandra, note on Alluri Sitaram Raju. What was the meaning of Swaraj in plantation? What is Inland Immigration Act 1859? And what happened with the plantation workers of Assam? Okay, so these are the questions that you have to complete for the assignment. Thank you.